I'm decommissioning, or at least dismantling, the one of the two Stubby folk huts. And I better film this as I go. I thought Gabriel would be here. I think he will be later. This is going to the blacksmith shop, which he will probably occupy. But anyway, I'm going to film it as I go, whether he were here or not. And I want to film this corner to show it's complete, to show the struts that are there. I call them struts because they're not nailed at either end. All they're doing is holding through their compression pieces, especially this one out here. Now if I lift this a little bit, it falls right out, you see? And the same will happen with the other ones. Now some of them have already, because this was neglected for 4 years. I mean, there was one there which is somewhere in Nepal probably. But when I take those struts out, the whole thing is going to rack. See, right now it won't rack because the struts are balanced against each other. It might rack a little bit this way. Yeah, just a little bit. But you see at this corner, that strut, whose job is to hold the outermost point here, is missing. And the same thing with this strut here. But I'm not too inclined to take these struts out any time before I have to. I'm going to first take the joists off. And they're nailed from underside. Maybe you can see there to some extent, but mostly they're just sitting in place, not nailed in place. Before I go on with this, I want to film a little bit more about these struts. I just filmed about the outer ones. The inner ones, they're still in place. Yeah, I think all of them. And what they do is they replace posts. Let me just film them a minute and you can think about it. They're going to start falling out because they're not nailed in place. They replace the necessity for a post, like say a post right there and a post right here. And where that thrust is going from here is to the post, but it's also being supported by that outside strut. Not sure if you understand that or not, but these are, I call these sub-sill straps. There's one right there, and there's another one right here. And really their job is just to give a place for the stops, for the struts. A strut has to have a stop. And so there's the stop to that strut, which I would flip over in the reassembly. And it's also a stop to that strut. I hope you can follow this because it's actually pretty important. And now I'm looking at the other strap. Here's the stop. And that strut together with the stop and together with the other strut make an arch. Same thing here, wooden arch. Same thing, that strut together with this spreader or whatever, and that strut makes an arch. And the thrust of those arches is absorbed, at least in part, by those outside struts. I've tried to explain. I'm going to start to take stuff apart now. I may as well go little by little here. I pried this loose, and so this joist, you can see I can lift it. It's only supported on the other end. And these nails, their job actually was to hang, which I don't usually go with that, but they were to hang this strut stop until I had the struts in place. This ledge that's built into, these are joists, but I call them principal joists because they're much more complicated than that. They're for the pallet to rest on for the flooring. These notches are not important at all. I use scrap from another building. That's why those notches are here. Now, by just rolling that principal joist over to the right, it shows that it was only being fastened by these, which weren't really fastening it, but as I explained, they were doing another job. These are stops. It's so complicated, but I'll give you the link where I built this. But now I can take that one off and put it on the truck. What makes this a little bit more awkward is that I have this is actually part of the superstructure, and I have it back nailed onto the end of the joist, and it's still there. I did that in advance because what I was experimenting here with was putting one folk-hut right up against another folk-hut. So I knew I wouldn't be able to nail that later, so I nailed them in advance before I rolled the joist into place. There, a complicated piece of work, but that's a principal joist. Let me go up to it. Ignore the notches, they should not be there. It's because it was scrap. It's spliced because one of the rules I go by is nothing longer than 8 foot. So it's spliced in the middle, which is fine. And what's making that splice happen is this cleat, and there's a cleat on the bottom side as well. Now that cleat has a double purpose. It's what the pallet rests on, standing proud of the joist, and it also makes the whatever you call it. I mean, it joins the two together. I can't think of the word right now. So anyway, there's the first of the principal joists. Splice. That's the word I was looking for. I put that on the truck, all 12 or so foot of it, and now this is the way the building looks without the outboardmost strut supported joist and the one that goes over the end wall. Now, so I've got one, I've got 3 more to go. Instead of working down along the building, you would think this would be the next logical one to get, and that one. I went to the opposite end, and I got this one, which is analogous to the one that was there. That way it keeps the whole thing balanced for longer. All right, there's the second of the principal joists. Again, here's the stop for the outside wall, and there's the stop right here for the outside wall. There's where it's thickened to take all those nails. This is to be ignored. So it was just resting on the building. So I'll put that on the truck. And there's the cleat that's making the splice, and on the other side there's the cleat that's making that splice. All right, with Gabriel's help, I got the other 3 joists off, or 2 or 3, and with everything I do, it gets better. Although this wood was so compromised when I even started, but I can work with this. We have it on the truck. I'll take it over to where the blacksmith shop's going to go back up. Now, how much of it I actually use without replacing the wood with healthier, stronger new wood, I'm not sure. But we lost some of the braces. They fell because there's no more weight on them, which is fine. And so there we have. That's going to be it, I think, for today.